Hello, everybody, and welcome to this session on neurodiversity. I am Dr. Gowri Chinthalapalli. I'm a family physician and have specialized in child development. And I work in Aster CMI in Bangalore. So, now over to Miss Sushma.
Hi everyone, my name is Sushma Gopalan. I work as a child life specialist in Aster CMI. I am familiar with being a clinical psychologist and a counseling psychologist. Over to Miss Apoorva.
Hi everyone, I'm Apoorva. I'm part of the child development team here at Aster CMI Hospital. I work as a psychologist. Can we start off with the session?
Yes, thank you so much. So, we are nowadays hearing a lot about the term neurodiversity, and it's a very commonly used term. We hear it in a figure of speech, we watch it in TV, we see it in read it in papers, so many. But what exactly is neurodiversity, and why are we taking it as something which is different? So, I would like Dr. Gowri to answer the basic topic as to what do we mean by neurodiversity.
So, to understand this, let's go back to our history from the time of evolution. If you go to a prehistoric, historic, there is so much we have evolved from that time, and we are still evolving. So that is why these terms you're hearing it now more often. So with times we have evolved. With evolution, we have made changes around us. We are adapting. So we have to adapt for our survival. And with this comes this new changes. So if you even look into 2 or 3 decades back and to now, there was no computers, there was no gadgets, and we knew work was work. When we come home, we didn't have gadgets, we weren't working, or we weren't hooked on to this social media and everything. Now times have changed, so now we need to see what all this is doing to us, how it is changing us. So from then to now, the family dynamics has changed. From joint families, we are becoming nuclear families. So the burden of how much we have to manage is increasing. With that comes the type of lifestyle we are leading. Now moving on to the word neurotypical. So neuro means anything related to the brain and nerves. Typical, you all know, it is like how it is normally what we find naturally around. So neurotypical means what we have in our mindset as what is normal or within the normal range. So everybody is different. So we cannot say this person is neurotypical, this person is not, just by comparing two individuals. So it is about the normalcy among most of the people. So that is neurotypical. So if there is typical, there is divergent. So there is a term called neurodivergent. Divergent means away from typical. Being neurodivergent or not being typical doesn't mean there is a problem. When we are seeing more and more people now with these labeling as neurodivergent or having these conditions, it doesn't mean they are abnormal. That is why this thing of neurodivergence has come into picture. It basically means we are all different. The way we look at each thing is different. Like if you're standing at different sides of the number 6, one perceives it as 6, the other perceives it at 9. So the way the brain is functioning, analyzing things and reacting may be different for the same situation. And how do we put this together and work around with each other to make it normal is what is all about neurodivergence.
Okay, to sum it up, it is basically saying there is no one right way. Right?
Yes.
So all of us are different, and it is how we take each other, and it is just becoming aware of each other's plus and minus. That's it. So we understood what is neurodiversity, but I would like to understand from where it all started. Getting to the root is very important. So what is the root of neurodiversity?
The term neurodiversity was coined by Judy Singer. It started off as a term that encompasses different cognitive functions. Each of our brain, like fingerprints, are not alike. We are all developing differently, and therefore we have different cognitive functions. The term neurodiversity is now used broadly to include many conditions such as autism spectrum disorder and others. The term now is also being used in organizations and workplaces where neurodiverse individuals are being hired.
So now moving on, what are the conditions that fall under neurodiversity?
There are 6 conditions that come under this category. So they are autism spectrum disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, Tourette's syndrome, dyslexia, dyscalculia, and dysgraphia.
So when we say about all these conditions, what are the traits that we generally observe for all these conditions?
One thing that you need to remember for such conditions is their intelligence level is actually good.
Okay.
So their brain functioning is fine. It is just one part of the functioning is where it is affected.
Okay.
Like in autism spectrum, it is more of the social connectedness. They may not understand when we are talking to each other what it really means. They may look it as black or white. Similarly, with attention deficit disorder, they cannot focus or concentrate for long time. They may need repeated prompts. They may get too deep into one particular subject and be there and lose focus on the other necessary things. When we come to dyslexia or dyscalculia or dysgraphia, it is specific difficulty. Maybe they will not be able to read like how we read. It is like a jumbled up words, or when they're writing it may be similar. And with dyscalculia it is about mathematical numbers. Areas around this in daily life also you see them struggling, but these can be supported and we can work together with these conditions.
Okay.
So we understand this, we can help them.
So thank you, Dr. Gowri. That was pretty informative.